All right, everybody, welcome back to the SunDome. We're here with Dr. Delilah. She's facilitates a bioenergetic wellness day at the SunDome monthly. We just had one a couple weeks ago, which we're going to talk about real briefly, and then we're going to speak about any exciting and upcoming things that she has going on in the bioenergetic wellness field. First of all, welcome and thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So the purpose of this particular wellness program is to be able to introduce tools that can be utilized to help support your energy, to repair it, to restore it, and to strengthen your energy at the cellular level. Of the sun here, they work at the cellular level, and this is basically an adjunct, not only to identify the things, imbalances in our lives, but to help support it and strengthen it. This, to me, I'm a medical doctor who transitioned into the holistic health and wellness space, and I found that one of the major reasons why there's so many chronic illnesses that exist today is because the energy behind these illnesses haven't been addressed. So by bringing these tools, it's a transition to let people become aware that if you support your energy, you actually do better. You're better off as far as helping to overcome a lot of these issues that we're faced today. Mm-hmm. So having this opportunity to work with the sun, I'm thrilled because then I'm able to share the various tools that are available to us. It's just as what they discussed from other discussions that we had here, it's the awareness.
So speaking of that, when I came in to pop in on the Bioenergetic Wellness Day, what I walked into was you were at a table with your bioenergetic scan set up with your computer, having a one-on-one kind of moment. I looked over to the left, and there's like bodies on the floor, just laid out. They had the eyes covered. They looked like they were kind of in like a meditation kind of thing, but they were on these mats, the Align mats. Then there was people over here hooked up to the oxygen bar. You had a couple people doing that, and then we had something else going on too. So briefly, can you tell me at least a couple of the modalities or treatments that you had going on and the value of them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had basically 4 stations this time, and so I'll go over them first. We had one station which was the bioenergetic scans, and what that will do is identify your energy fields, because we're made up of multiple energy fields, and it identifies the distortions or imbalances in these fields, so that then people can actually tangibly see what needs to be addressed in their bodies. Being that we've got multiple energy fields, we've got energy fields that affect our physical, not only our physical, but our mental and emotional state. Everything is intermixed. And that's one of the things that is basically missing in our current health system. Everything is so segmented, and one specialty doesn't know what the other specialty is doing. But doing the scans will help to integrate each one of these different areas that are out of balance. So when you address one area, it'll affect the others. Mm. Then we had people, actually they were lying down and knocked out.
Oh, really? Okay.
On the floor. So
I didn't want to say what they looked like.
We had some people bodies. That were like, they were like, I will say we won't identify each one, but some people were snoring.
What? Any of them in this room right now?
So the Align mats, what they were doing is offering it's heat, infrared therapy, and pulse electromagnetic frequency, which are energies that will help support the body at the cellular level. Because then it allows your body to heal as opposed to being given something else to apply it. So, and that's one thing that Of the Sun has also taught me. It basically gave me my foundation and understanding as far as what energy is about and how it can support us. And we want to work from the cellular level because that's more long-term shift in our health. Then we had in here, we had a area where we had pulse electromagnetic frequency that was applied, and people were getting that, and that's also shifting the frequency and addressing your imbalances at the cellular level. It's all about the cells, working from the cells and working because it all integrates and affects our physical, mental, and emotional state of being. And then we've got oxygen. We all need oxygen. You can't live without oxygen for more than 3 minutes at a time. But we need oxygen, and oxygen supports our energy level. It supports proper functioning of our bodies. We've got the breath meditations that help to support us, and it's very important to be able to know how to breathe right and so forth. So we've got these the oxygen bar that will supply the body with the oxygen needed, but it also has infused some aromatherapy essential oils in it to help support other methods from a more natural, other health issues from a more natural aspect. Like, for instance, there's eucalyptus and peppermint. And I don't know if you realize that people with headaches, they're trying to address their headaches. If you just use some peppermint oil and eucalyptus oil, you can get some relief from that headache.
Mm-hmm. So, the modalities as a whole, is this for people with existing situations right now only, or is this preventative work, or is this a combination?
It's a combination. It's a combination. So it's based on the person's needs, and it's individualized. When you supply the energy to those individuals who need it, your body's going to basically absorb or take in what it needs, mm-hmm. and it'll release whatever it doesn't, or and so that's the way health should be addressed, based on the individual person's needs.
Okay.
Can people book you for one-on-one situations, or is it more of an event based?
Well, you can, yes, they can't, but actually right now what I want to do is introduce what tools there are that are available to us. Mm-hmm. And that's where the Of the Sun programs come into play. And this basically is an introduction to let people know what is to come. And so, I'm excited about it because I'm getting there's going to be new tools that are going to be introduced also at the next event that we have here at the Dome.
In 2 weeks.
Yep. As well as what's available to come. And, where you'll be able to have services available outside of the Dome also to supplement what's being presented at the Dome.
So to rewind a little bit, how did you merge these worlds? Because you did say you were a medical doctor. What inspired you to get more into being in the wellness and, uniting those worlds?
From personal health issues. Most doctors, what I found is that they switch into more of a holistic health methods because they have a personal story. Mm-hmm. My personal story was blood pressure and not feeling well and all that, but also seeing my family imbalances in the health of my family. Like for instance, my father had Parkinson's disease, and I saw that it wasn't necessarily addressed properly. Learning on my own, because I had to learn on my own the things that could have been done to help him, and inquiring about it, I decided, because he ended up passing away with a lot of his issues not addressed, and I'm just seeing all the imbalances that occurred, it actually shifted and said, you know what, people don't have to live this way. People need to know what they can do in order to help themselves, but everyone needs to know that they've got to take responsibility for their own health. Mm-hmm. No one's gonna do it for you. A lot of people misinterpret the hospital as people who are like gods in a trying to help you. Yeah. They're not. You're just as powerful as they are. And if your needs aren't met, go somewhere else and get it done. Go somewhere else where you're heard to address your issues. Take responsibility. That's what I notice a lot. Patients that had come to me, they're like, oh, okay, doc, tell me what to do. No, you tell me what's wrong and then let's work together.
Yeah. It kind of goes back to the theme as we've been speaking about choosing to be empowered and choosing power and all the opportunities that we can to do it. So you said something and it made me think of, you said you're responsible for your own health, or you can do something about it. There's ones of us who are familiar with or have family or whatever who think that they've lived most of their life already. And they think that, hey, I'm 70 and I've done this for this long. It's gonna be what it's gonna be at this point.
That's
and my
fallacy.
energy, yeah. So how can they be, or what should they know as to why it's worth putting the energy in, even at the point that they've already lived a very fulfilling and happy life or average life or whatever they consider it, that it's still worth the energy to kind of come to these type of things or engage with these type of modalities and things like that?
It's all about feeling good. Do you want to feel good for the rest of your life? Or do you want to feel lousy for the remaining years that you're here on this earth? You're given that misconception that, well, I'm older, I'm going to take this medication or do this thing. It's part of growing older, having these pains, the suffering and pains. And that's not true. You can grow old and feel good about it, and it's time to start thinking. If you think that way, you'll make better choices just to feel good and live life the way it should be lived. I don't know if you listen to the stories, if you notice in the Bible, they talk about living 700 years or, all these many years. And that's not even the case in today's world. But I'm like, how did they live that way? They probably did different things, than what we are, exposed to better things,
I'm grateful that we have resources that we were speaking earlier about this whole idea of community, and we have resources that we can explore our well-being from multiple different angles. So we have the energetic work that Of the Sun specializes in and teaches. We have the bio side of it, the kind of the working with the disease within the body, or working with the imbalances within the body, and getting on a course for correction and or for prevention. We have other resources like we're going to speak about in the next interview or two coming up as well. It makes me feel really good that we are all working in the same direction, yet we can all work in our lane, so to say. We can all work in our interest areas, but it's all working towards the same direction. And it makes me feel like I have more power to be in support of not just myself, but the people I care about, through being able to point them in different directions and having resources. So maybe there is someone who's not as pulled in the direction of the energy work in that manner. However, they are definitely pulled in the direction of feeling good. And I can still be of support. I can still point them in this direction. And within the SunDome's field of business, we have answers to all your wellness needs. That's a commercial, by the way. So, that makes me feel great, and I'm glad to be working with you on this type of project. And you mentioned it, just to give a little bit of a touch of a preview. So me and Delilah jokingly call these the once a month thing that we're doing right now our mini retreats, because the next step is our mini retreat, which will be a full day with some real machinery that's probably going to span not just within the dome, but the property and other areas as well that we're working on, that's going to be coming up. And those are going to be very intensive, but very rewarding. Then she's got the actual retreats that she's working on as well that are going to be even bigger, span more time and days, and and to the point where we'll have a home-like setting where people can be for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, to truly get on the path that they need and want to be in. And everything in that experience will support them through the food, through the medical advice and support, through the other people who are like-minded and pursuing the same things, and every other aspect of it. So there's a lot more to come, and everyone who's participating at the level where we're at now is being a part of making it possible to get to the other. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone who supports that and who plans to come and be a part of the BioEnergetic Wellness Days. And thank you to Delilah. It's a pleasure doing these kind of projects. It really is.
Thank you. And I want to add one other thing too, is that, Of the Sun is a resource, but it's a community that helps to support one another, because I found that people are most successful when they have a community backing them up, giving them direction. So that's my plug for y'all.
Excellent. I appreciate that. We want to be that. We want to be that in a way that feels appropriate and respectful to everyone in their free will and their journey. However, we are, as family can be, where everyone can live their own lives, yet we know who's always there for us, or we can know. So we want to have that kind of feel within our dynamic as a whole. All right. Thank you.
He's like,
We'll
I'm
take
always
about